Hey, I am back. I am here. This is On With the Show. I am Goose, and I am glad to be back. If you wanted to know where I have been for the last several weeks, um, the short answer is I had gotten very sick. I had gotten an infection. I had to have surgery. I had to have surgery to put a new stent in my heart, and I was told to relax, take it easy for a couple of weeks. And in the process of taking it easy, I ended up getting a very bad infection and an abscess on my leg, to which needed surgery. And yeah, I was hospitalized for 6 weeks, about 6 weeks. And I've been told to take it easy because I'm not 100% yet. But I am on my way. I am working really hard to try to get all my stamina back, try to get, everything going back. But there were some things going on that popped up on my radar. And today we're going to talk about the continuing trials of one Jack Doherty. Yes, our favorite YouTube prankster, Jack Doherty, who found himself arrested in Florida. We're going to talk about a little bit about that and some of the things that he's been going through, because it's been a bad year for Jack. Been not a good year for Jack. But if you haven't already, go down and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications. Bang, bang, bang the bell for notifications so you always know when new videos are uploaded. Share this out to your friends, family, and neighbors, and leave me a comment after this. Let me know what you think. And yeah, let's get into this. Mr. Jack Doherty, as the headline reads from TMZ, dated November 15th, which was a couple weeks ago. Jack Doherty, social star, arrested in Miami Beach. And the article goes on to say, famous YouTuber and content creator Jack Doherty has been arrested in the Miami area. TMZ can confirm he was cuffed by Miami police outside a smoke shop and booked into Florida's Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center just before 9 a.m. on 3 charges: possession of a controlled substance, possession of marijuana, and resisting arrest. Specifically, cops say he was in possession of amphetamine, a medication used to manage ADHD and narcolepsy, and less than 20 grams of weed. Video of his arrest shows him arguing with police, and he has a bond set for $3,500, which is not yet satisfied. Yet he did pay that. Let's go on to the next article by TMZ, which says Jack Doherty locked up with nothing to do. It was his worst day ever. This was published 2 days later on November 17th, 2025. Which reads, Jack Doherty is spilling on his Miami arrest, telling TMZ the whole thing was so numbingly boring. He's actually calling it the worst day of his life. Well, I think so, dude. The embattled influencer tells TMZ it was a brutal slog. First, stuck in a tiny cell with a cop for 5 hours, then shuffled off for a mugshot and fingerprints. Before spending another 10 hours in a big holding room where he could finally make some calls. The day didn't even end there. The 22-year-old, yes, he is 22 years old, says he got thrown into another cell, took a nap, then got jolted awake by guards who, he claims, were super nice. Yes, they usually are, unless you're going to be a dick to them. Even telling him TMZ had already posted his mugshot before letting him finally go. I didn't bother to get a mugshot of it because you can find it online. Looks like he might have gotten the memo because he says he plans to be good and stay out of jail from here on out. But he's also making it clear that doesn't mean seeking drug treatment, even though he was popped for amphetamine, not methamphetamine, amphetamine, and marijuana. Still, despite all the boredom and regret, he says the whole arrest was stupid. A vibe he doubled down on later, bragging he posted his own $3,500 bail the second he got the chance. Nonetheless, let's hope his next worst day ever is just a bad upload and not another boring stint behind bars. Yes, let's let's get into this for just a little bit. So every state has a different have different drug laws. In California, it is legal to possess. I mean, you can have a little bit of pot on you and not be arrested unless you're driving stoned, which they will be more than happily put you in the back of a car. 20 grams of pot is like a seventh of an ounce. It's not a lot of pot. It's not even 1 ounce of pot. But Florida law, possession of marijuana, you're going to jail. It's probably a misdemeanor. The bigger one I'm kind of curious about is the amphetamine. So, because they didn't say what amphetamine it was. They just said it was used for treatment for ADHD and narcolepsy. That is a whole range of amphetamines. And yes, if they're not prescribed to you, you're going to go to jail. Because that's a federal thing. And I'll tell you why. Because two of my children, have ADHD, and I have had to go pick up their prescriptions for their ADHD medication. And I've had to sign a federal form stating that I picked it up and that I picked it up and this is what it's going for and blah, blah, blah. Because I'm responsible for it, Now, I asked a few people, what amphetamine could it be? I mean, because it doesn't specify. And one of them told me it has to be Adderall, because Adderall is becoming one of the new big party drugs on the scene, and so that's got to be it. It's got to be Adderall, which yes, I've had to sign for because it could have been another one that could be under. It could be Vyvanse. Vyvanse is another amphetamine that I've had to sign federal paperwork from at the pharmacy when I picked up the prescriptions. So the whole thing is, what's the amphetamine? They're not going to tell us actually. And what was Jack doing with it? What was Jack doing with amphetamine? The other stupid thing is he got resisting arrest. There is footage online. I didn't bother to get it because I've seen it. It's a big nothing burger. Basically, he's getting put in the back of a cop car and his buddies are there filming it and getting it for the whatever YouTube or Twitch or whatever, because he's not on Kick anymore. I'll get into that in a minute. But they're getting the footage of the arrest, and of course, he asked the police officer, "Can you please uncuff me so I can give my watch to one of my friends?" And the cop kind of chuckled a little bit and said, "No, I am not uncuffing you to take off your watch. You can pick it up in the property when you go get bailed out." It was just, he's more concerned about getting his bling. He's more concerned about his bling, as one person described it, than he is about getting arrested, And at this point, again, Jack's 22. He probably still thinks because of his fame, because, a lot of people do know him, a lot of people don't know him. But because not a lot of people are familiar with YouTube and YouTube pranksters and all this other stuff. He's been doing this a long time. Just a very, very quick hot take. I think prankster videos are kind of on the way out, which is going to be interesting because what is Jack going to do for content when he really needs to make content to make more money? I mean, I've already talked to him, earlier this year when he wrecked his car, and then was more concerned with the car than his friend that was bleeding all over his face. So, and I had said then that this was going to be, the start of him starting to kind of, he's on the track to going broke. It's my opinion. Because if any of you have ever listened to Dave Ramsey, you will always know that it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep, right? And so we got to ask Jack, how much money are you keeping? How much money are you investing? Are you spending your money on all this stuff and not looking ahead to what might happen in the future, when there is quite a possibility that your revenues are going to go down for all of the stuff that you're doing? I don't know if that's it. I mean, I know I've had people leave me comments. Jack is worth $400,000 a day. He's never going to go broke. If he keeps going the way he is, I mean, he's obviously going to need to hire a lawyer. That costs money. And we know about the incident with him, with his bodyguard punching out that Halloween guest from a couple of years back. He's going to court for that. He's going to need lawyers for that to keep him out. He is, I guess, getting sued. The rumor is he's getting sued by another person, which was the reason he got pulled off a kick, because apparently they let him back on after the incident with the car. They let him back on. I don't know why you would do that, but they did that. So they let him back on with the incident with the car, because obviously he must be making the money, only for when this one dude, like, I guess, snags a chain or something off of Jack, and Jack and his bodyguard, both of them, beat the crap out of this guy. Just boom, boom, on camera during the live stream. And Kick was like, yeah, we're done. We're not doing, we're done. There's lifetime ban. And so, I don't know if this is a culmination. I mean, it's not been a good year for Jack. Let's talk about, that's one thing. I mean, that's one of the things that's going on. He got kicked off a kick after he wrecked, a car. Then they bring him back on. Then he punches a dude out. They kick him off again. Then apparently, I guess he's in Los Angeles, and he's supposedly walking out of a restaurant when some guy comes by and snatches the chain off of his neck and just takes off on his bike. And Jack, he's not able to, oh my gosh. And they call the police, and he's all upset. And oh my God, he's looking at, where were you guys? I don't know where my bodyguards were. Where were you guys? Why didn't you stop him? And that has come into question because apparently he changed his story like 3 or 4 times in talking to the police. So we don't know what's happened with that. Then, let me get into this story. Apparently, he got married and divorced in the same year. The article from the New York Post from October 18th by Rebecca Scanlon reads, OnlyFans star splits with YouTube prankster husband after humiliating vows. All right. A young OnlyFans star who married a popular YouTuber has opened up about her husband's viral vows in the aftermath of their split. McKinley Richardson, 22, tied the knot with social media prankster Jack Doherty in a spur-of-the-moment Vegas wedding last November. The nuptials were live-streamed to his 15.3 million followers, with one moment leaving many surprised when Doherty surprised his soon-to-be wife with a prenup at the altar. So Shotty gets absolutely nothing when I divorce her, even if I cheat, he said. If she cheats, she automatically owes me $10 million. I'll also receive 100% of her OnlyFans revenue, or her OF revenue, moving forward, even if we divorce. Doherty also said Richardson couldn't talk or date to any other guys if we divorce for a period lasting 250 years. That is a ridiculous thing. And added she will still have to cook, clean, and do my laundry. It was a moment that quickly went viral, with many unable to determine whether or not the vows were a joke, largely as Doherty is known for pulling pranks. But just a few months later, the pair had separated, and Richardson had moved out of the $3.5 million waterfront mansion the couple had just purchased in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She has now opened up about Doherty's wedding vows, labeling them humiliating, despite the fact that their ceremony wasn't legally binding. The vows that he wrote in front of my dad. He made my dad stand up center stage, and he read out these disgusting vows, Richardson said, while appearing on an episode of Camila Araujo's, I hope I got that right, podcast. So, and there's a big old, there's I think something online about that too, about the whole night when she walked out of the house. And I guess one of her friends showed up, and they called the police, and they were scared that Jack was, because he's abusive, and and let me just say this right there. Do I think Jack Doherty is abusive? I don't know. I haven't seen it. Do I think that he's immature? Very much so. This is my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, just leave a comment and tell me. I don't care. But here's the thing. This just adds to another layer of Jack Doherty's problems. All right. This was an OF model. And he apparently has linked himself to many OF models. Was this ceremony for real? Probably not. It was probably one of his pranks. It was probably one of his things to get more views so that people would watch his channels and all of his stuff, and he would make more money. And so, I don't know. I don't know if she even agreed to this. I don't know if this was something that she basically said, yes, I'm in on this, let's do this. Or if this was something that he tricked her into doing. It's kind of wild. I mean, he just continues to show bad decisions after bad decisions after bad decisions. And I keep wondering, and I don't know, I'm sure he'll, he's never going to listen to me. But I just keep wondering, why isn't somebody stepping forward and saying, dude, you need to slow your roll. You need to you got to calm down. All right. Maybe take a break. Because even the short time off, the 2 months I had off for this was it felt like something that I needed. I think content creators need to take a break every once in a while just to gain their sanity, not to feel like they have to do something all the time. You know what I'm saying? Not to continue to chase the next viral moment. And yet this guy keeps doubling down on stupid. And hopefully, this little incident with the police will wake his ass up, and he'll be able to go, I don't want to do this. This is not a good thing for me. I think it's time I would like to see maybe sit down with a financial, consultant or financial planner and take some of that money he's earned and invest it into something where he can make money and not have to worry about catching the next viral moment. Because every time I turn around and I see his name in something, it's usually something that makes me wince and wonder what is going on in this man's life. He's 22 years old, and you gotta hope that things straighten out with him really, really soon. But yeah, when I read that he was arrested in Florida, I was mixed emotions. I was surprised and not surprised. Because, with the way his life has been going, I was not surprised that this would eventually happen. I was more surprised that it happened now. But again, maybe this is a learning lesson for him to kind of I don't think this is a good thing for me to do anymore. And I know many of his subscribers and followers are like, no, we don't want Jack to go away. But sooner or later, that's eventually going to have to happen. All right. That's all I have for this story today. Thank you so much for watching On With The Show. If you haven't already, go down and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications. Bang, bang, bang the bell for notifications, so you always know when new videos are uploaded. Give me a big like on the video. Let me know what you think by leaving me a comment, and share this out to your friends, family, neighbors. Again, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you think I'm way off? Do you think, oh no, Jack's fine? Or do you think, yeah, I think this dude needs to take a break? Because that's my honest opinion. I think he needs to take a break. Again, thank you very much for watching On With The Show. My name is Goose. I'm your host. I will see you on the other side.